Well, don't have a lot of time, but it's sure been a lot of fun.
I know. Yeah.
Good to see Chris Denham. We
Yes.
go way back, man. Like,
I know.
was it 2005 or 6 when I met you?
It goes back. I mean, you go all the way pre-Bowcast at the Bird. Before that,
Yep.
which that was, my gosh, that was that might have been pre-Wilderness Athlete for us. So
Yeah, it's a long time.
early 2000s, long time ago.
Yeah, and Kevin, we've known each other forever too. It's like
Yeah.
coming home. So I'm hanging out at HQ today, and when I say HQ, it's not just Wilderness Athlete HQ. You guys have all the things. Tell everybody all the things you guys do. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, well, it's a lot under one roof. We have Western Hunter Magazine, Outdoorsman's, and Wilderness Athlete. So
And Western Hunter TV.
and Western Hunter TV.
Technically four,
yeah,
yeah.
We've got all four underneath here, and Canine Athlete, and
Canine.
Working Athlete. So
And updated media.
And updated media. Yeah, it's a small building, but what you've seen, we jam a lot, and we get a lot done here. And after this, we're going to run down the street to the shop, and you can see where the sausage is made a little bit more.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I do like I've been here before. We did a camp. Was that a couple years ago? We did like
Yeah.
Elkshape camp.
Elkshape camp here, and I like Fountain Hills. I love the area, but this is just a cool little stretch. Like the way you have it laid out, like you have an awesome gym. We got to work out there today. How was that?
Oh, my throat's still burning. It's been a while since I've gotten the heart rate up that much, but it was a lot of fun. I could tell, like, I need to get back to doing that style of workout more. Like, we used to do CrossFit every day, and
Right.
our CrossFit gym closed like a few weeks ago. And then even before that, I stopped going because I had this knee injury, and we talked about, some things, and it's definitely something I miss, that style of workout.
Today's my rest day, so I was 5 minutes late, so
Yeah.
I get to miss that. So if I look fresh and they don't, that's why.
Oh, well played. The knee is a thing. Like I don't know if you've had any knee issues. I had the ACL
not.
recovery last year, and what you're going through, I'm not a physical therapist. I stay in my lane, but we were really working on like the knees over toes type protocol today, and we weren't loading heavy. We were really just trying to move through a ton of, like, when you hurt your back and you're like, okay, I got to go to a chiropractor or somebody. Everybody suffers from lower back pain according to stats, but like I think you can fix things through movement. And I like physical therapists that believe that and put you through movement to improve what's bothering you. So now that we're old men, what's bothering you guys? Like what's your kryptonite in the woods or in the mountains? Yeah, like what's the one thing you struggle with?
Really struggling. I would say struggle, but I have to pay attention to is recovery. Making sure I have a phrase that I use in my head that, okay, if it's 4:00 in the afternoon, the sun's going down at 6, and there's a ridge 2 miles over I'd really like to be on, I have to ask myself, is it worth because you're going to, at some point, as you get older especially, you're borrowing from tomorrow sometimes.
Oh my gosh, that's well said.
Yeah, you could make it there and you get 30 minutes of glass, and now you get an extra 2 miles back to camp on top of what you've already done. Is it worth it? Is it, or do you save that energy for tomorrow and just get it done? So just paying attention to really how much is in the fuel tank, how much is actually there, because unfortunately, we don't have a meter, and depending on how we're feeling, that meter changes. So you can't just try to be be present, and figure out what have I got.
That's interesting. I hunted with my dad last year for the first time in several years. He's 69, turning 70 this year, and it was cool to hunt with him. Like I was really proud of how he did, and I thought he did a pretty good job of doing what you just said, like having a little more foresight, making a little more informed decisions on the repercussions of his actions, so to speak. But regardless, hunting's not that difficult. Like you can go through a sea of deadfall, like we were talking downstairs. It's a little slower,
right?
But you can still get through it and take your time and go at your own pace. And honestly, I think a slower pace sometimes does put more critters on the ground.
But I have a philosophy when I'm climbing a big ridge. You got 2,000 feet. I look at it and I think, okay, what pace could I make it to the top without stopping, but then still stop, every 20 or 30 minutes, and just rest up.
Yep.
But just pace is everything. You'll get there faster. We see it when we hike the Grand Canyon every year.
Yep.
I mean, there's these runners and people that are flying by us, and then you get to the next water station and stuff, and there they are laying on the ground, and talking about how tired they are. And then they take off, and then you start hiking behind them, and 3 hours later you get to Phantom Ranch, and there they are laying on the ground, and they've been running the whole time. And then half the time you pass them going out the top You know, so pace is critical. Knowing what that pace is.
Kevin, how about you? Like, is your knee getting in your way at all?
It is and it isn't. I think it's actually given me a really good opportunity to, kind of to your point, like slow down and think about the full picture. I think that's what I struggle, maybe is the right word. I don't know, is thinking the whole picture. Like when I'm only 36, right? So to a lot of listeners, it's like, oh, you're a young gun. But 36 is also like the latter half of your youth, sort of. Like you're not an old man, not a young man.
You're middle-aged.
Middle-aged,
you're
right?
Middle-aged.
I'm middle-aged.
But he's got to buy into that term.
Right, yeah, 100%. But so I'm just starting to pay attention more to the foundational things, like getting good sleep, not drinking, taking care of the type of nutrition and diet that makes me feel good, and learning when to put on the brakes and when to put on the gas, where 3, 4, 5 years ago, it was all gas, no brakes. I didn't, training included. Like I would just go to the gym every day, beat myself up. If I got 6, 7 hours of sleep, I'd call it good and eat whatever the hell I wanted, and I'd wake up feeling great. And you took that for granted long enough, and it didn't really hurt me too much. And I think now I'm starting to see that it does pay off to take care of yourself, get good sleep, take care of the foundational health, so I can have that high performance. And so that's where I'm at now. And my knee is actually just, my wife would probably give me credit for saying this, but like my knee is just sort of forcing me to think about it that way, rather than like an injury, poor me. It's just, no, your body's telling you what you need to hear. And that's how I'm approaching it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You talk about rim to rim. 21 years old, finishing up my graduate stuff down in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
And then I just bought a house in Washington State. So I'm driving home. And I've been gone for a long time. And I'm really excited, but I have about 3 weeks. So I'm really just going to take my time. First stop, Grand Canyon. Never seen it in my life. And I was just getting out of doing my grad school and an internship with professional athletes.
So you're in shape.
Pretty good shape. And I'm like, I'm just going to look at the map. And it's like, oh, it's 7 miles down to the river. That is awesome. I'm going to run down, and then I'm just going to hike back. And I'll just, spend 3 or 4 hours. So I ran all the way down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon. And when I mean run, I mean run. Mm-hmm. And it took me less than an hour. I was hauling. And then hiking out kind of sucked. I remember, there's people on mules or something.
Oh, yeah.
They were getting a free ride up, and I thought about asking if I could get down there. But I made it up or whatever. I wanted to tell you the story because I ended up going to, Bryce Canyon and Zion next. But I was wrecked. Yeah. I could hardly walk from all that eccentric downhill running. And so this is a funny story. I learned my lesson on eccentrics that day. You think I would know. When you guys do rim to rim, how does it work? What's behind the scenes intel on? Because I kind of want to do it someday.
Yeah. Well, it's a long day on your feet. We start at midnight and go from the south and hike all the way to the north and hike all the way back to the south. I say nonstop. We stop for water, to tie your shoes, to eat some snacks, to stretch, of course. But there's no overnights. There's no break longer than maybe 20 minutes at the most. Most of them are just long enough for you to refill your Nalgene, refill your bladder, address some blisters. Well, on the trail, they say 47 and a half. Yeah. But everybody who tracks it on any kind of Garmin or anything like that, you're usually somewhere north of 50.
And what's the time cap?
we self-impose 24 hours. Yeah. So you can say it's a day hike.
Yeah. You're getting it done in 24.
Yeah. We're usually around 2021 is when it the first one I ever did was 24. It was 23 hours in 52 minutes. And it's a funny story. Kevin just said it, but my wife and I, 2 weeks before I did that, we hiked down to the bottom and back. And which is like you said, it's a chore already. Yep. And we were coming up and right by a place called Indian Gardens, and there's this rock wall that's about 200 yards long. My wife and I were just sitting there getting a snack, and I see this dude coming up, and you can tell rim to rim people just look different, but especially on the south rim because they're 75 or 80% done, and they look beat up.
They're feeling it.
You can just look at them. They got this, the compression socks, and they've got the right pack. They got their trekking poles. And this dude is just plodding. He looks like an athlete. He looks like a long-distance trail runner dude, and he's barely. And he comes, like I said, this wall's 200 yards long. And he comes up, and he sits down right next to me, right here. I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how you doing? He goes, not good. He goes, I don't think I can make it. And I'm I said, well, what are you doing on time? And he was like at 18 hours. He was, at a good pace. And funny story was I gave him a packet of hydrate and cover.
Yeah.
And are you going to just take some random dude on the trail when you think you might die?
Yeah.
This dude was taking it, man. He was like, oh, whatever you say, dude. And he took it. And the next day I ran into him, and he's like, what was that stuff? It was amazing. I just climbed right out of there. But I told him I was going to do rim to rim to rim the next 2 weeks later, and he said, what's your goal for time? And I said, I got no goal. He goes, well, dude, you got to finish it in 24 hours. You can't call it a day hike. I was like, okay.
So that's always
our goal is 24 hours, just so then you can call the Grand Canyon rim to rim to rim a day hike.
What's your total elevation gain loss on that
22,000 feet?
Yeah.
Holy.
20. Well, it's 12.5, isn't it? 12.5 up, 12.5 down.
I thought it was 11 something.
It could be.
I thought it's
a lot.
I always had the number in my head 22,000, but
20, you're right. I think we
just
even did a
of
t-shirt.
total change, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys use trekking poles?
Oh hell yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like if I show up with trekking poles, am I gonna get?
No,
like
no.
I don't care. I'm gonna bring them, but
Even the hardcore runners
Yeah.
are running with trekking poles now.
There's many moments where that has just simply saved my life on the trail
four-wheel
too.
drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's some spots one year where like on the North Rim, rock slides wash the trail off. So you're scaling some, scree fields almost to get to one. And I mean, you got big drops if you mess up. So, trekking poles are just a must.
when do you guys usually do it?
At the end of April.
Yeah, usually the last weekend in April. It's kind of the window when, because the top of the North Rim's over 8,000 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And the bottom, you're at, 1,500?
Yeah.
So there's that couple week window in the spring and then in the fall where you probably aren't going to be having snow and miserable weather up on top, and you're probably not going to die of heat stroke in the bottom.
But you could.
But you
have
could.
it there.
Certainly could.
We've had both to do, that's for sure.
That's one thing I remember that day was there was snow on top, and when I got down to the bottom, it was about 70 degrees.
Yeah.
I was like peeling layers.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing.
It is.
I think I want to do it. I'm going to advertise it. I want to do it.
Yeah.
It's you'll never regret it. You know,
Yeah.
it'll be one of the toughest things. I would say the toughest thing. I know you've done some really hard things, but for me, it's the hardest thing I've done in my life physically, but mostly mentally. There's just moments in there where you get to know yourself pretty damn well.
I have a lot of respect for that.
It's really one of the reasons why the guy that kind of started this whole thing within a group of hunters that started doing this guy named Dave Martin, and he always said it's like there's no tapping out in the Grand Canyon. Once you step off that edge, and start going down, it's up on you to come back up. The only way you're coming back up is in a helicopter. It's going to cost you 20-30 grand, or you could sleep on the ground with no sleeping bag and no food, and you'll be miserable.
Snakes and spiders.
Once you step off the edge and you start down, there's nothing you can do but get back up.
Yeah, because the North Rim at that time of year is closed, so there's no resources there.
Yeah,
No,
you get to the North Rim, we always joke that when you get to the North Rim, you're done, because now you have no other choice but to finish.
Yeah,
and it is the mental aspect of it. I mean, once you've done that, I've had 1 or 2 days ever hunting that I felt like were as hard mentally and physically as rim to rim to rim.
That's a huge advantage.
It is.
That's a huge
Mental.
advantage.
The mental advantage is so strong. It's and we didn't do it this year because they had a big fire on the North Rim, and the trail was technically going to be closed all year, but then they opened it, but then we didn't have time to train, so we didn't do it. We all kind of needed a year off. We've been doing it for, I think I had some picture popped up of memories of the first time you and I did it together, which was I think it was 12 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But, it's like 15 years of doing this.
I would love to see you guys host something where it's almost like a open invite, maybe brought to you by Wellness Athlete or something.
We've
it could be
kind of
a cool event.
Over the years, we've had some ideas about that. The park's really weird about stuff like that.
I bet you
If
they
you
do.
organize it,
Yeah.
then you got to have a permit and
No,
this and that
thank
and the
you.
other thing, So it's got to almost be just more word of mouth, show up. And we actually, one year we had a guy, Billy, he was a dude who just followed us, friend, just a customer, just a guy. And every year we have people that say, hey, I want to come do it. But then when it comes time to do it, no one shows up.
That's right.
That guy showed up,
Yeah.
and he crushed it.
Yeah.
And it
Did
was
he?
so cool. It was him and his wife and his little boy, like the nicest family, and out in Nevada somewhere.
Yeah.
And he was awesome, and he's a stud.
Well, what we just did before we got on the pod, I don't know how much we can talk about it, but I
Yep.
want to say it was really cool sitting
Please
down
do.
with the team and going over your super top secret formulas and whatnot, and taste testing, quite honestly. How often does that kind of thing happen?
We do like some flavor sampling pretty regularly. Right now, we're probably doing a lot more because we got a lot cooking in the product development field. Not just with new flavors of Hydrate, we do have quite a few there, but with some new products altogether. So in the next, I'd love to say in the next 8 months, but realistically in the next like 12 months, you're going to see a lot of new exciting stuff coming from us in the shake space and the drink space and a lot of edible space, all that. So, I'm really, really excited to keep working on the project that we just sampled some stuff for you as well.
Yeah, more to come on that. Can't wait to share. So, Chris, how old are you? I'm just going to ask you.
63.
Shit, really?
Yeah.
You little pup. We're going
Thank you.
to steal your backpack because you're the host of Western Hunter TV, and you're essentially probably the editor of the magazine or
Publisher is kind of my
Publisher?
term now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my
Been
time
doing
now.
it forever.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to the Elkshape Reps in the Red Zones. We are giving away a free Axis archery elk hunt in Texas with me and Peaks Equipment. 3 days, low fence, 17,000 acres, Axis deer in the rut. This is the best way to bolster your confidence right before elk season. This is the ultimate elk season warm-up, whether you're a rookie hunter or OG. And as a bonus this week, we're going to throw in a Vortex Viper HD 3000 rangefinder. That's the one I use, to one lucky person this week. And we're going to announce the winner of the hunt first week in June. So you'll have just a little bit of time to get ready on that quick hunt. Let your boss know you need 3 days off at the end of June. We're going to fly you out to Texas. We got your lodge covered. We got your tags. Everything's covered. You just got to show up and shoot some stuff and get reps in the red zone with me. It's going to be awesome. We're also going to film the hunt. It'll be really cool. So to make sure you're entered to win the rangefinder and make sure that you're entered to win the hunt, head over to peaksequipment.com. In your cart, throw in whatever you need. Could be a titanium spoon. If you add the Peaks Duo headlamp, it'll double your points. And if you enter the discount code Elkshape, it'll save you 10%. Check out their shelters, 1P, 4P, solid sleeping bags, 0 degree, 15 degree, trekking poles, backcountry elite with the cork handle. That's what I recommend. Gators, whatever you need. Get loaded up. We're going to announce the winner very soon. Only on video. Do not get scammed. We will not reach out and ask you for any money. Watch out for copycats. And I'm just honored to be able to take one of you with me to Texas to make a friendship and get you some meat in the freezer and some confidence bumped up big time. Separations in the preparation. Get entered. We're going to Texas. We're going to go get reps in the red zone. You've been hunting forever. We want to steal your backpack. You're on the mountain. What products from Wilderness Athlete would we confiscate out of your backpack? What would we see for a 63-year-old young pup?
If it's overnight, if I'm like backpacking, like not just day hunting from a base camp.
So he does overnight hunt. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's cool.
we do quite a bit of that. My wife and I do a lot of backpacking in the spring, and my kit for each day is 2 to 3 hydrant recovers, usually a couple of energy and focus, but then midnight build, vitamins, omega-3s, and joint advantage. Those 4 things are 100% of the time going in my body every single day.
Yep.
And of all those, I still think the vitamins actually just the most important. It just none of us eat as well as we like to think we do. And my degree is actually in agriculture, and so I did a lot of that work before I started this, years ago. And the food we eat today, it's just not as good as it was 50 years ago.
Facts.
We grow food so fast that it doesn't have the nutrient density it used to have. So you can eat the biggest salad in the whole friggin' world, and it's not the same as it was 30 years ago. So you need something to fill those cracks in, and that's the multivitamin. But then, honestly, I feel like the biggest thing for me is still the midnight build. It's it's a recovery product, a sleep aid recovery product once I started taking that, it was literally like I could quantify it. I felt like I was
Really?
25 to 50% better the next day. And so
That's interesting.
if we get back ordered, I panic.
I have several bottles of that, and I have a routine that I don't love right now, but I take all my supplements right before bed.
Right.
And so when I say all my supplements, it's not that much, but I do the good stuff, which when
That's
you
the
open
basics,
up a
yeah.
good
Probiotic,
stuff,
yeah.
you got all this stuff to take.
Yeah.
You have probiotic, multi-fish oil, and then I don't spread out my joint support because I'll just forget. So I just take all 3 tablets of joint
Yeah.
Yep.
right then and there. And that's a lot. So to add midnight build, because it's 3 Is it 3 pills?
It's 3.
Three.
Depending on body weight, but
Yeah.
3 pills.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll add that.
I'm kind of the inverse. I take all my stuff in the morning.
Yes.
Because at night, I midnight build is just, just so I only have like,
switch that up.
because I feel like for me, and it's just a routine thing, wherever it works for me is like the first thing in the morning, that's just my routine. And it's too many pills sometimes. It's just like a pile. It makes me feel like I have a problem. But, it's better than not getting it in your system at all.
Definitely. I do collagen every day, and every day.
Yeah.
That's a non-negotiable. Other than that, but Hydra Recover, it's a 2 scoop a day, like always.
Right.
But that's probably, I don't know if that's a ton of stuff. But.
Well, I think it's all relatively speaking, right? Because some people will be like, oh, my God, how much stuff do you put in your system, I used to think there was a point in my life where I was like, oh, that's just a lot, and now it's just common. Like I could take 6 or 7 pills and with one swing of water and probably swallow them. So it's all just, relative.
Yeah, I started actually doing, I lied, I take creatine, H&B, and so I usually have a smoothie for breakfast. And it's got spinach and frozen fruit, and I put the collagen. I do put all natural peanut butter. I put Daily Strength, vanilla. What else? And then I add the creatine, and then I also take another scoop of creatine post-workout. So that's 10 grams of creatine. Mm-hmm. Dude, there was years where I would, only go on creatine for a couple months to try to, bulk or whatever. Yeah. And now, fast forward, I'm, kind of Matt if I didn't get 10 grams of creatine a day. Mm-hmm. But you were just talking earlier about the research into that. Yeah. Do you want to tap into that just a little bit?
Yeah. It's obviously a hot topic. Everyone's talking about creatine these days for good reason. It's creatine by itself is one of the most, I think it might be the most researched ingredient, supplemental ingredient out there in existence. There's so much research going into it, especially now. In the way you used to take it is very common. The way people used to view it is like a cycling. I need to cycle on and off of it.
Exactly.
Because the benefits are so adjacent to like a steroid, right? There's a performance enhancement type of effect. But in truth, there's so many good foundational benefits to it, not just from the building of muscle, the building of the recovery, aid and tissue repair and such, but cognitively as well. That's what you see when you're upwards of, more than 5 grams of consumption. The musculoskeletal system will generally consume all 5 grams. It's going to put that to use in rebuilding muscle, in creating ATP for, cell function and everything like that. But once you have, more than that, your brain's able to take advantage of some of those resources for some cognitive benefits. There was actually a guy I met at SHOT Show, and we just got to talking, and he was former special operative Marine, and he does a lot in that space now with training and working with guys in that field. And he was telling me how they just got through doing some sort of course, highly sleep deprived. Like these guys didn't get much sleep at all. And creatine, he said, was the main thing these guys leaned on. Electrolytes and creatine. But with very minimal sleep.
Sounds like elk hunting almost.
It does, right? Yeah, exactly.
So electrolytes and creatine while elk hunting.
Yeah.
So that you can make a little bit better decisions. Could lead to more shot opportunities.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is so many people now, you used to think about it as just physically. How do I physically feel better? Less inflammation, less sore. But, once you can start take care of your brain, you're able to make better decisions, and you're able to actually just have a better outlook on life. You have better reaction time, more focus. A lot of your energy comes from your mind.
Hunting is, all it is decision making.
Yeah.
Isn't that really all it is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Problem solving.
Yeah, problem solving. Yeah. And once the fatigue hits and, and the nutrients aren't there, and the creatine fills in those cracks as well.
Yeah.
You start making bad decisions, and then that's when the guy says, I'm going home. I'm done.
I think that's where that saying, fatigue makes cowards of us all. You've heard that? I don't know
it's a good one.
I think it might just make us not function cognitively the way that we normally would.
Yeah.
So fatigue makes us poor decision makers.
Sure.
And I don't think harvesting more elk, killing more elk is going to be, a good thing if your cognitive function's going down.
No.
Yeah. So that's something to think about. And, someone your age, 36 all the way up to 63, I'm in there at 44, we all could hunt together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Age is not really, hunting's not that hard. We're in the mountains.
Right.
We're walking with a backpack on.
Right.
But sustainability, endurance, I like what you said, knowing your pace, knowing when to slow down, knowing when to speed up, and then the cost of what that might for the next day.
Yeah.
You know, I try not to think like that. I try to like not have any, like I call it limitless elk hunting.
Right.
But I know that's going to change eventually.
Yeah, it does. But at the same time, I think, you know, what's the Navy SEAL saying is when you think you're done, you still got 40%.
Right.
You know, they've tested that and figuring out, you know, how to tap into that 40.
Yeah.
That's honestly the rim to rim to rim in a canyon.
Okay.
Does that. That's because you don't get to 100%. You know, you think you are, but we're probably 80% spent.
Yeah.
You know, I'm betting, you know, if it was 2,000 feet higher on each side, we'd still be able to do it. It would be just hurt that much more.
That's the best part. Is like every time I've ever done it with like somebody who it's their first time, and we'll be at like the base of the south, right? Like we still got a hell of a long ways and arguably the hardest to go, or even before that. And that person's like, I'm done. I'm quitting. My feet are done. And you know in the back of your mind, because you've been there, like you're not, and you can do more. And it's fun to see people overcome that and tap into that and have that kind of invigoration and confidence of like, holy shit, I did way more than I thought I could have done. And that's such a big part of it, is proving to yourself what you actually have in the tank and like what you're actually made of. Because otherwise, if you never test yourself, if you never do it, like you usually have a lesser view of what you're capable of, you know? So it gives you some real confidence and understanding of like what you can accomplish.
Yeah, that mental part. Like over the first few years I've done it 10 times, almost 11. I kind of pussied out one year and didn't finish the last 1,000 vertical feet because the mules had torn the trail up so bad. I was like, I don't need to do it. And I was ticked that I didn't finish it.
I remember that year.
I was so ticked.
In the moment, sounds like
it's all like,
but you get to look back. I've had elk hunts like that where I've regretted stuff. One of them was Arizona 2016. Like I can spit out the time I didn't go after the bull because I didn't think I had enough time.
Right.
I'd sure like to go back and find out.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you like to go back and who cares if the mules kicked out the trail? You were that close, man.
Yeah, I know. I'd have been fine, you know. And but what I've noticed over the years too is that my recovery is, you know, the first few years it'd be like 10 days before I'd really go back in the gym because it takes a lot out of you.
Bet.
And every year since then, it's gotten that window shortened up, and it's not because I'm in better shape. It's not because it's just because my brain says you're fine. You're fine. You've been there. You're done. You're good. You know, you're tapping into that part of your brain that wants to protect you from dying. You know, because that's unfortunately that's what your brain's job is, keep you alive. And sometimes when we're doing really stupid things, your brain's telling you quit. You know, because its job is to keep you alive. And it's thinking, you know, this is dangerous. You know, you're pushing, you're tapping into that 40%. I don't want you going here. And just, you know, giving your brain the confidence, you know, and that mental strength to say, I'm good. We're okay.
You're like shrinking mountains, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Is what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good way of
Changing
putting
your
it.
perspective.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it.
Guys, comment below if you think we should have a secret society, non-permitted but not really planned, but orchestrate
Wink,
that
wink.
end of
Yeah.
April 27. I'm actually super interested.
Okay.
I'd love to bring my wife. Just we were at the Grand Canyon not that long, a couple years ago for spring break. We had little kids. I couldn't show her the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
And she would crush it, so it'd be cool.
Your wife would crush it.
Yeah,
she would.
It's an adventure, man. And
You will laugh at the Grand Canyon, especially because you see it. There's groups of women that are doing the rim to rim to rim at the same
70s?
time we are. No, they're usually in their 30s or 40s, you know, and they're doing it and they're laughing and they're having fun. They're coming up the South Rim when all the guys are falling down and just feeling so sorry for themselves, and they're still joking and taking pictures.
Yeah.
And,
Love it.
I mean, if you've given birth,
yeah.
damn.
Yeah.
You know, the canyon's not, you
That's
can
a
do it.
podcast in itself.
Yeah, it sure
why
is.
women are just tougher than
They're
us.
just tough. Every year I see it and I'm like, damn,
I'm into
these
just
women are tough.
when your daughter had her first child. What did your perspective change?
Oh, 100%.
His
Like,
wife.
My wife, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Did you I
Yeah.
just remember when my wife Alicia gave birth to our first child.
Game changing.
It put
Yeah.
she's still there, but she was on a pedestal that I never had her on before.
She turned into a different creature.
Yes.
So my wife did it, you know, not to be an overshare, but, you know, no anesthetics.
That's a big deal.
Did it in a bathtub, all natural. It was like just, I don't even know the right words for it, otherworldly, to see what she was capable of
Yeah.
and how it all went. It was just, incredible amount of respect that obviously for her, but like it just made me appreciate what women in general do. It just blew my mind.
I'm dying to get, because Courtney's my daughter, his wife. She's done rim to rim with us twice, right?
Twice, yeah.
So then, since then, she's had 2 kids, and I'm dying to get her to do the rim to rim again, and you see just where it all fits. After
do it next year, 2027, April, not planned, but I think that's great.
Yeah.
We got to run, guys, but we didn't really talk about hunting too much. But what are your guys? We'll finish here. What's your crystal ball show for your 2026 season? Or is there anything that you're excited about or hoping for? We got to touch a little bit about hunting season.
So Ben and I take off for California for an archery blacktail hunt in August. Really excited about that. Haven't hunted in California in a while. Then I'm going to Wyoming for antelope, and then Montana for elk and deer. And I'm going to get in some archery hunts here in Arizona over the counter in between all that, I'm sure. But that's about all I need to keep me happy
sounds
this
like
year.
A good lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got. Well, I will get it's what is today? Early May, so we don't have all the draw results out yet by any means. But I should have plenty of points to draw a Colorado deer tag. I should have plenty of points to draw a Utah deer tag. Just a general tag, not one of the limited entry units. There's New Mexico. There's a landowner tag. I've been able to get over there for going. This might be 9 or 10 years now, and it looks like I'm going to be able to put it together again this year, which is always fun.
I'm sorry, man.
You got it.
No.
And then Coues deer, we should draw. Arizona Coues deer, and then honestly, it's just we're just waiting for the draw like everybody else. I mean, Nate and I keep saying we're gonna one of these days. All of a sudden, a sheep tag's gonna fall into our lap or something.
Nice?
I know it's got to happen eventually. I mean, we haven't. I did draw a stupid lucky tag last year that was a leftover Idaho tag that I had no right to draw. It was ridiculous. But we've never drawn a sheep tag or a goat tag yet. We've drawn one moose tag I drew in Idaho years ago, or 4 or 5 years ago. But that's the only big limited entry draw we've ever had. So we keep thinking this is our year. Something's going to fall into our laps that we didn't see coming. So
how often does the publication come out?
6 times a year.
Okay.
So bi-monthly.
Very cool.
Yep. If you haven't seen it, we've totally revamped it. It's super. We're super proud of it. It's just the feel of it. The whole idea was everybody loves the TV show and the way it feels and the way it looks. Everybody's like, it represents hunting the way it's supposed to be, and we're like, well, we didn't hear that about the magazine as much. And it's like, all right, this is our goal, is to make the magazine reflect the same thing to print that the TV show Western Hunter TV does for TV and video, is get that same vibe and feel. And I think we've nailed it. People are really loving it.
I'm going to steal a couple copies for the airplane ride home tonight.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I haven't had my face in one of those in years. I used to help write stuff for it back
a
long time ago.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Let's get you in there. Storytelling, man.
Man, you guys are like family to me. I appreciate your time. Thanks for opening your doors up. Super awesome host.
Thanks for being here.
Very gracious.
Great to have you.
Great to have you here.
Definitely love Arizona. Guys, this is my friends. Check them out. We'll put links to all their stuff. Separation is in the preparation. We'll catch you on the next one. onX is a non-negotiable tool for Western hunters. Land ownership, offline maps, unit data, and real-time navigation. onX removes guesswork and gives you the confidence when you're miles from the truck. We trust it because it works when it matters most. This episode is brought to you by Guillen out of Southern Idaho. This company is the leader in digiscoping, and I have personally tried, at the time of this recording, every brand out there that makes a digiscoping product. I have tried personally behind closed doors and in the mountains, looking to find what is actually the best. Well, I found it, and it is the Guillen. It is the easiest to use by far, and it's the most simple system, and I have missed 0 opportunities on recording or photographing animals in the backcountry. And as somebody who creates content, I don't have time to futz around and try to line things up. And even some of the ones out there with magnets are difficult to align and can be very frustrating. Not with Guillen. It's literally click and play. We do have a discount code with them. It is Elkshape. It'll save you some loot at checkout. And I'm really excited about some of the new innovations that we get to bring to you later in the year. Guillen, this is the leader when it comes to digiscoping solutions.